Last year, there was a heated run for the governor of Arizona. It was Kari Lake versus Katie Hobbs. Kari Lake had more interviews, more on the ground support, and was polling several points above Hobbs in just about every poll. It was very clear that the public wanted her, and it seemed like a guaranteed win for Kari Lake to be the next governor of Arizona. But on election day, they had a few problems.
We did want to come out and discuss one issue that's going on out there in about 20% of the vote centers. Again, we have 223 vote centers across the county. In about 20% of those, when people will go and they try and run the ballot through this tabulator, maybe 1 out of every 5 or so of those ballots, they're not going through.
Now, in the strong red zip code areas, the voting machines had random errors and kind of stopped working. The paper ballots went missing in some towns. It was just a comedy of errors, and Katie Hobbs won the election by a number of votes that seems almost impossible to believe. Now, I'm not saying the election was rigged or a total scam or somehow stolen. I mean, other people might say that, but come on. It's impossible to steal an election in this country. We have the freest and fairest elections the world has ever seen. It's just impossible to cheat an election here. Just impossible, I tell you. So, Kari Lake lost. And I have a theory why she could never win. Now, keep in mind, this is just a theory. A thought experiment coming from a random anonymous guy on the internet. So take this with a grain of salt. See, Kari Lake was for the people, not corporations, not big government, and certainly not the criminals and the drug cartels. But those drug cartels have a lot of money. Some would say billions of dollars. Plus, it's all tax-free. Now, that kind of money can buy a lot of influence. It might even be possible to buy a politician, or even an election. It's just a theory. Calm down. Now, Kari Lake wanted to close the border, and on day 1, she pledged to roll out the National Guard of Arizona to secure the border, and secure it hard. She said this over and over and over.
You rolled out a couple of very bold plans in your gubernatorial platform. Number 1, you have a new policy on the southern border of Arizona if indeed you're elected governor. Can you outline that for us?
Yes, it's called Defend Arizona. We're going to take a strong stance on our border. Joe Biden pulled away the most comprehensive, amazing border plan that President Trump had put into policy, and it was working. I covered Arizona for 27 years. Our border had never been more secure than when President Trump was in office. Joe Biden on day 1 peeled that back. He's left us wide open. The narco-terrorists are now in control of our border in Arizona, bringing in tons of fentanyl from China up through Mexico into Arizona. They're trafficking children. It is appalling what's happened. The government is required in the Guarantee Clause, Article 4, Section 4 of the U.S. Constitution, to provide protection from invasion, and they're failing to do that. And as governor, I will use the Constitution for the remedy. Article 1, Section 10, we, the people of Arizona, will take control of our border.
Katie Hobbs, on the other hand, was for open borders. Accept refugees. Welcome home anyone who steps across the imaginary line. Oh, and take down that border wall. And don't forget your free stuff. See, these are striking differences in policy. And that is specifically why Kari Lake could never win. She wanted to close the borders. Katie Hobbs wanted to keep them open. So who benefits most from open borders? Migrants? Oh, sure. They've got many benefits. Okay, not who benefits. Let me rephrase that. Who profits the most? Would it be fair to say drug cartels? I mean, they make an absolute fortune with open borders. Now they can make the drugs in Colombia, Nicaragua, Mexico. and walk them right across the border to the people willing to buy them. Drug cartels will keep making mountains of cash if the borders are open. Now let's keep going with this theory. If these drug cartels have billions of dollars and they want to keep the borders open, who would they hypothetically support? Kari Lake or Katie Hobbs? Well, this isn't even up for debate. The open border policy of Hobbs is the ticket they would support. Now, up to this point, we've been speculating. No facts here, just wild assumptions. However, the people of Arizona want the border closed, and they want the drug cartels to be put under control. In fact, the people want this so badly, they pressured the elected lawmakers to classify the drug cartels as a terrorist organization. That's a bold move. But the people of Arizona have had enough. The drug cartels are above the law, and the drugs are killing people. They just want justice and to live in peace. One step to do that is by labeling the drug cartels as a terrorist organization and then treat them accordingly. The Arizona state lawmakers passed this bill, and they sent it to Governor Katie Hobbs to sign it into law. And guess what? No, seriously, guess what happened? She vetoed it. There's no way that she's going to penalize the group that handed her billions of untraceable money to win a questionable election. Okay, to be fair, I just made that up. I have no proof that a drug cartel handed her billions to win her election. But if we apply Occam's razor, where the simplest explanation is the most likely, then Katie Hobbs refuses to punish drug cartels because she is benefiting from them somehow. Can anyone else think of any other reason that she would absolutely refuse to label them as a terrorist organization? This didn't come out of the blue, and she would be politically safe to pass this law. The people and the state Congress and the Senate already passed it. Everyone was already on board with passing this law. Everyone wanted this to happen. It was a political softball. No one would have cared if she passed the law. But no, she vetoed it. She refused to label drug cartels as a terrorist organization. Why? What would be the harm in doing that? Well, perhaps her funding source would dry up. I mean, that's a solid theory. It is my personal opinion that Katie Hobbs is just another example of an evil Democrat that wants to do anything in her power to hurt the people of her state and drive more crime, drugs, and violence into her region. Now, I've been saying that Democrats are evil, but I'm not sure that's a strong enough of a word. She is purposefully trying to destroy Arizona. Now, I'm not sure if the people can group together and try to take back their state. But the way elections go there, it's not likely. I don't know what the solution is, but when you have a governor that is refusing to support the citizens, and in fact siding with international drug cartels, something drastic needs to take place. I mean, starting impeachment proceedings might be a good start. If you live in Arizona and you feel like she's not upholding the law as she should, take some legal steps. Any governor can be removed peacefully and legally. Or perhaps, I'm going off the rails here. Here's a wild theory. Stop buying drugs. Make the cartels that she supports not quite as profitable. Hey, come on, it's just a theory. All right, if you like this kind of stuff, do the like and subscribe thing. Reporting on stories that are not very popular makes my channel hard to find. Subbing will help other people find these kinds of stories, and I would appreciate it.